sure it actually goes up properly because we've had a lot of problems with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I was like, can we just do it on Facebook then?
Yeah. How are we looking on that? That's all right.
I'm gonna look at it. Not great. You know, he has the same sense of humor as Chris Davies.
Oh, no, that's not possible.
I want to get the two of them together and see.
Too bad your ass got sacked. Hey, and friends. Look at that.
The audio is coming through on the live right now. Yeah, the audio is coming through on the live right now.
Oh, wonderful.
Hi, everybody. Let's not say anything bad.
I think I already swore once. Are we allowed to swear on the show?
Well, we're on now.
Oh, terrific. Wow. This is great.
We are
you know what I like? It's raw, you know? You don't get any mourning. You're just on. 1 minute you're drinking coffee, minding your own business?
Oh, it's unlisted. It is
okay.
Unlisted. Sorry, I did not realize.
Yeah, so you want to go?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
How long did you have anyway? Half?
I got an hour if you want
okay.
it. But we shouldn't stand here and talk for an hour, probably.
Got chairs.
I mean, I'm good, man. Let's just talk until we're tired.
Half an hour in, we'll just
yeah.
just slide chairs in.
No, 45 minutes in. I don't know, man.
Just sitting there staring at the camera blinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't ever come here.
Oh, I better turn this down.
Probably so.
There you go. Aha, there we are. I believe we are. Every single live stream always starts with, are we live now?
Are we are we on the internet?
Well, we have a very special guest on our live today. I am, of course, Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? And I'm being joined by...
Michael Fisher,
yes,
a.k.a. the MrMobile.
You know, I've had you on for podcasts, for live streams, for videos.
Yeah,
and
man.
a part of me is always like, I don't need to introduce him. People already know who you are.
Hot garbage, friend. I always like a good introduction. And I like hanging out with you, too. Thanks for having us on.
Likewise, man.
Josh has great taste in tacos. Fun fact.
Okay, going a little, peeking behind the scenes, I had a grand total of, 13 last night?
Beasted down 12 or 13 tacos.
Okay, by the time I wanted to count, there were already 10 gone.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
So I was like, wait, how many have I? Oh. Anyway, we love hanging out. CES is one of the main times that we get to hang out, and we wanted to have MrMobile. I'm sorry, the MrMobile.
No, MrMobile is the correct brand. I said the URL by accident. I'm sorry.
There we go. We have MrMobile, MrMobile, Michael Fisher. I almost said Mr. Fisher.
Mr. Fisher, Michael
himself
Mobile.
On our live stream here at the Android Authority booth at CES 2018. Okay. We're just going to be chilling here. If you have any questions for us, I am checking on the live stream here. And before you guys even ask, yes, I do have my phone on the brand new DJI Osmo Mobile 2. So look forward to a little bit of talk about this in a bit. And I do have my vlogging rig. There's a reason why I have these here. In any case.
I have a coffee that I got from the front.
And there's a reason why that's there too. So speaking of what should be the start of the day, which is coffee, but what did you do today? I remember you saying you were going to be excited to talk about this on camera.
I am, but only very briefly because it is only the most tangentially related tech thing ever. Huawei basically said, "Sup, you want to come on a helicopter ride and take some photos of the Grand Canyon with a Mate 10 Pro?"
Of the Grand Canyon.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess that sounds fine.
I'm so jealous right now.
You should be. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a beautiful day for flying. There was a very low ceiling, so we were over the clouds in a helicopter, which is kind of a rare thing for me.
Was there a lot of overcast, or?
No, just the perfect amount to make the photos really pop. And
nice.
Then we landed at the bottom of the Grand Canyon and had ourselves a little picnic.
What?
Took some more photos.
What?
Had a small amount of champagne. And then got back in the bird and took back off.
Oh,
and the only price I had to pay for any of this, of course, was leaving the watermark on the photos. With the Huawei phone, you can,
Oh, they actually told you to...
Yeah. So with the Leica photos, with the Leica branded Huawei phones, you drop the watermark on there in the retail software. This isn't even just like a review unit thing.
Yeah.
Normals can do this, like watermark on. It's like Leica, Huawei, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Very, very small price to pay for a wonderful time. And you know what? The phone did pretty well.
And yes, if you see his photos, Huawei, from them, and he probably was going to crop in. Huh? Are you going to crop in? No,
What?
okay,
What?
okay.
What? Cut out the watermelon? No, that would be shady.
I'm kidding.
They're
kidding.
up on Instagram actually.
They are
They are
them
at the MrMobile on the Instagram.
There you go. Oh, I wish we could have had some of those photos too. But how long did it take? You had to drive out there, huh?
Yeah, we just got the limo to the airport. Waited. We played Jenga while we were. Oh, right. Yeah, that.
It gets to a point where it's like the word humble leaves the word humble brag.
Just got we got the suitcases full of gold bars and put them in. No.
Well, that sounds awesome.
It was really terrific. And
what did they have you use for the pictures?
So it was the Mate 10 Pro.
Okay.
The recently announced for the U.S.
Exactly.
Not announced on a carrier, but I guess that's not something we're talking about today.
Well, we don't have to talk about it at length, but,
Yeah, but the
it's
Mate
still
10
going to
Pro.
be available in the U.S. Like, are you excited to see the Mate 10 Pro actually make it to these shores?
Yes, not as excited as I would have been if it was going to sell in the volumes that it would if it were in a carrier store.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's always more, and I was thinking about this at the keynote, right, where it was sort of, there was a carrier announcement that was very absent.
Yes.
And we all expected it. And I was thinking, why am I so bummed out and or angry about this? Because I was like, and I'm not on anybody's side. I'm not a spokesman for anything.
You
And
don't
I
have a
think-
horse in the race. Like,
Right,
yeah.
but I think it's because it's more fun for me to cover stuff that's going to get into a lot of hands and get into a lot of pockets.
Because you can start the dialogue with people who are actually owning the phone.
Yeah, like normal people. Not that I don't love talking to other phone nerds,
Yeah.
like, but it's really nice when you're covering something and people are like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's this," and they're like, "Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I was thinking of it." And you can have that conversation rather
Yeah.
than like how do you say that? You know?
Yeah, well, we've obviously given the Mate 10 Pro plenty of accolades. It did win Smartphone of the Year from 2017.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it did.
LOL, that's awesome.
We're right above, I guess we'll call them honorable mentions, but the OnePlus 5T was in the running, and then of course the Galaxy Note 8. So,
Why was it Phone of the Year?
Phone of the Year, well, because
Yeah.
all around because we did a lot of very stringent testing. It was
Okay.
more data driven. So on data driven, it had great battery life, it had a wonderful camera, and it was just basically, it was like, okay, in the camera testing, it was basically neck and neck with the Pixel, if I remember.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Principal difference being that the Pixel gets better the more photos you take, because
Yes.
Google Photos gets smarter with every, you know.
Which is not
it's like-
necessarily something that testing actually sort of takes into account.
That's the trouble.
Yes.
With lab testing, right? Because and this is the thing, right? I get some heat sometimes for not doing almost any lab stuff. It's almost entirely.
Really?
Well, here
they give you flack for that?
on occasion, and rightfully so, because if people come to MrMobile looking for a reviewed.com style review, they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And I go to Reviewed Labs, and they've got intense amounts of equipment that can categorize stuff down to like the micron and the subnit and all this kind of. And I'm like, this is amazing, and that's entirely a different format from what I usually do and what you usually do.
Yeah.
So that's cool that you changed up the format a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually don't have too much of a hand in it because what I wanted to make
you as
sure.
a site.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. Yeah, but on a personal note, we do have that kind of testing, but I did want to make sure that we, including myself, would be giving our opinions as to what our picks of the year were. Yeah. So,
totally.
The Mate 10 Pro would have been at the top of my list. I feel like not the top, but like top 5. But I have to admit something. I couldn't do that because I did not review this. This is actually the most I've held this phone.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of time with the Mate 10 Pro.
What a shame.
Yeah, and you have the blue one, which everybody is so enamored with, and it does look great. I have to admit,
Doesn't
looks
it?
amazing.
I know.
Oh.
I don't want to. I feel like because I'm already like coming from the helicopter thing, so I'm already feeling a little like I'm like, oh, he's such a shill for Huawei. So I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm going to review it in a week though. A week or so.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, because I held the review until U.S. availability,
Oh, fair. Okay.
and I thought it was going to be a much bigger splash.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we
Sad.
had Richard Yu on the other day, and he.
One of my
obvi-
favorite speakers.
Yeah. Well, obviously he wasn't really able to talk about even the word carrier was like kind of a thing there.
Yeah, man.
But we can tell it seemed genuine to him that he's upset that he wasn't able to have it.
Absolutely, man.
And rightfully so. I mean, anybody out there who hasn't tried a Huawei phone, I mean, you're probably seeing a lot of the ads all around the place. What's the campaign that they're running?
Huawei.
The phone that you never.
The best phone you've never heard of. Which
And you know what? There's a tiny bit of claim to that. I have to say.
It's a rather clever campaign.
It is.
And it should come as no surprise because one of the people heading it up, or possibly the person heading it up, came from Samsung back when they were doing the next big thing is here.
Yes.
And that was a very memorable campaign as well.
I
So,
agree.
you know,
Well,
it'll be exciting to see what happens.
Not to keep on Huawei for too long, but you are formerly known as Captain Two Phones.
Yeah.
You basically are still though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At least.
Yeah. So your other phone, the Pixel 2 XL.
Pixel 2 XL.
In the colorway that I wanted for so long,
The
but
panda
I can't get.
finish.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I do quite like it. Mainly, of course, for the camera. And David Kogan has a meeting and can't come.
Oh,
We
too
knew
bad.
that before we went on the air.
The Unlocker, we were hoping to have him on. David Kogan is his name. We were
Shout
hoping
out.
to have him on with us as well, but unfortunately not the case.
Can I complain about my Pixel 2 XL for 2 seconds?
I was actually going to ask, like, any of these, because I'm using it. It's on the Osmo. I don't want to take it out yet. But yeah, I was going to ask if you had any of these issues that everyone's talking about.
What, display issues?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I do, but I don't care about them.
Yeah, me too.
My issue is I have a busted OIS module on the camera. So occasionally I'll be shooting, and the Pixel is known for that epic image stabilization, especially in video. But I'll be shooting with this one, and something will make the will address the OIS module, and all of a sudden it'll get wiggly eyeball for like 3 seconds. I'm like, what?
We should. I want to see an example of this. Not necessarily right now.
I'll
but
show
like
it
a
to
little
you.
bit later.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of examples of it. But otherwise, it's my favorite phone camera ever.
Okay. Yeah, I agree as well.
Yeah.
I've been taking so many selfies. Front-facing camera is just bonkers.
Dude, I intentionally tried to defeat it in Hawaii, right? Where I had the sun behind my head,
Yes.
and I took a selfie, and I was like, no way, are you gonna get any color out of this? And the other phone I was using at that point did not make anything of it. I was a silhouette, and it was a white blown out sky. The Pixel made a photo that I actually wouldn't have minded sharing.
Exactly. I did the same thing last night with my girlfriend who's here. We went to the Las Vegas sign. It was like 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's blown out. Like you tap on the sign, you can't see us. You tap on us, the sign's just like, it's like God is looking down at us.
Yeah.
But it still made a photo that I'm gonna share probably tomorrow or the next day after we leave.
That's the amazing thing, right? You take a shot with the Pixel, then you go into the gallery, and it's like, processing, hold on, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be crap. And then it all of a sudden makes
Yes.
a beautiful painting that you're in the middle of.
All right, so
Yeah.
speaking of more recent things,
Okay, sorry.
Muvo Texas, I want to say, just made a comment about your Movado watch
Oh, no way!
and said that it's stunning. And I remember you saying it's pretty
I love
great.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Even though I had no hand in designing it, and it's not even mine. My company bought it.
Oh.
But I adore it. It is my favorite Android Wear watch in terms of design. And I wear it all the time.
Did you get a look at Skagen?
No, somebody told me to go look at it though.
Yes.
Is it beautiful?
I do like it a lot. That minimalistic design, and there's something that Skagen did to the software. What they would say is they stripped away a lot of the pre-installed stuff. They didn't want it to have bloatware of any kind.
It's Android Wear 2.0?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And their watch faces are very
2.7.
Spartan, and it's just like aligned with the time and just like your next appointment. Very,
Really?
very Danish, like that they said. Very Danish.
Very Danish design, yes.
And it's also incredibly smooth.
How much is it?
I think it's gonna be $299.
$299.
Don't quote me on that. I need to double check. We do have a video on it, just so you can check it out.
That's my thing with this. This is a giant bouncing around nonsense tornado that you get caught up in if you try and look at the logic of it, because this is $595 to start. Right. And anyone who's going to pay that much for a smartwatch, first of all, is like, these don't age well.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's Android Wear 2.x, which I think is a really garbage platform, and I think it's really broken.
Android Wear needs a huge
Ooh.
makeover.
Here's the thing, it was kind of an okay platform, sorry,
No, you're
and
good.
then it got a makeover into something much worse, I think.
Well,
It's-
what made it worse?
there are just these tiny little usability things. Like if you're listening to a podcast or a song and you want to check the time, you will see the time for 2 seconds. No, not even 2 seconds before the album art for what you're listening to eclipses the time. If the timer goes off and you don't have a rotating side button, the timer's own notification logo gets in the way of the stop button for the timer.
I do remember that.
I mean,
It
it's
is
just
infuriating, yes.
mind-blowingly kind of not smart. And
But the design of that watch, it does.
But the hardware.
it almost makes it okay.
I know.
Yeah.
No, and I'm sorry. The end of the Logic Tornado is this isn't meant to compete with a Fossil at $250.
Oh, okay.
It's meant to compete with like a Louis Vuitton at $29.90.
Yeah.
You know, like it's that kind of thing, and you can argue which one looks better, but this is
I do think it looks pretty great.
Movado.
Did you see any other smart wearables at all while here?
I don't think that I did. No, most of my stuff. I even branched into smart home a little bit with that the Lenovo smart display.
Smart display.
Yeah.
What's
but-
your take on all that? Like, because smart displays are one thing. I mean, they're two different stories here. Smart displays are kind of a quote-unquote new category.
Right.
But we also have Google Assistant and Alexa just going nuts on everybody.
Yeah.
So we're getting assistants all over the place. Also, I just found out that Alibaba has an assistant.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't understand English, which is why we've never used it.
You know what's so funny is my initial thought to that was like, well, that's absurd. They're a retailer, right? They're a massive retailer. But then, of course, that's what Amazon is.
Exactly.
I guess I don't think that's weird anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I've never plugged in any of the Google Homes that I have.
Why not?
I've never used them.
Why is that?
Because while I have come to become comfortable with the phone always listening for a key phrase, an OKG key phrase.
Or Hey G now.
Yeah. I don't know, I just didn't really see the need for it. I'm really mobile, cheeky.
Yeah.
But at home as well. Like I said this when I was reviewing those Bose wearable speaker things. Like even at home, I don't stay in the same room for more than like 5 minutes. I'm just running around all the time. So I'd have to have like 5 Google Homes in my place, and I always have my phone on me. It's just redundant for me.
We also have a ton of wearable tech that is getting Google Assistant. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm one of the only proponents for the Pixel Buds and what they do. Like, I know a lot of people kind of crap on them a little bit because they don't sound like other headphones, or the design might be odd, or
Yeah, the execution's just not very good, right?
Well, but the execution of Google Assistant on it, I think, is the best of any Google Assistant ever.
Why?
Because when you're holding on there, one of the most annoying things about Google Assistant, I have to say, and I'm happy I'm saying this on camera, is when you say Hey G or something like that, and it's listening for your voice, it also has to do the work of figuring out when you stopped talking.
Oh yeah, sure.
And maybe half the time, it doesn't do a good job of it.
Right, so you want to push to talk?
I want to push to talk.
And is that what the Pixel Buds do?
That's what they do.
Really?
And it's great.
So I think there's a service that I think you would really like. It's called Samsung Bixby. You gotta keep holding the button down while you're talking to it.
Yeah, but
I do like that about it, genuinely speaking.
Okay, fair.
Bixby is the butt of a lot of jokes, but
Yeah.
I do like that
But
you
that
just push to talk.
functionality, having a tactile response, being able to let go of the Pixel Bud, and then it does the chime.
Yeah.
It knows exactly what I said because it's not trying to figure out if someone next to me is still talking.
Yes, and if you live with someone or have someone in your life who is good at this, you kind of know it. I think it's maybe 5% of the audience, but it's like that person who, when they're around, picks the exact wrong moment during your Google key phrase to start talking to you about something.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
it's like, what time is Star Trek on tonight? Oh, did you see the thing about that other thing that in the food? What do you want for dinner?
I want Chinese.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Are you
exactly.
talking? Yeah.
Oh boy, I do like that a lot. We're starting to see that more often, that Google Assistant is going into headphones. So there's this
Yeah.
merging of the two.
Yeah, like the QC35.
Yeah,
on both,
exactly. But yeah, speaking of CES 2018, I do want to ask the question that we've asked pretty much everybody. I'm sure you've asked a lot of people this question. What have been your highlights of this show?
Oh man, everyone's talking about it. We don't have to talk about it forever. The thing that the takeaway, the thing that sticks in my mind
Yes.
the most is the under-display fingerprint scanner from Synaptics
I do
on the
like
Vivo
it.
phone.
I do like it, yes.
Right? I mean, it's going to change the way these are designed in maybe not a way that's immediately noticeable to most folks, but it's going to let manufacturers put a ton more display on the front of the thing,
Yes.
unless they would have formerly put their fingerprint sensor on the back. And now, since that doesn't have to be there, you got more space for battery. You've got more space for, you don't have to do what Samsung did and put it in an utterly unreachable location.
Yeah, right next to the cameras.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like it's fantastic that way, and it's just so cool from a sci-fi perspective. You know, it's like projects a thing on the screen.
And I get that a lot of people were hoping that the entire screen would be a sensor.
Of course,
But
course.
it's just a small portion on the bottom. Again, we have another video on this as well. I'm sure you do as well.
I do as well. Yeah.
So just that little section on the bottom that shows a fingerprint. What I thought would be funny is, what if that was your actual fingerprint it was showing?
That would be savage. That would be bad. That wouldn't be good at all. Can an OLED screen? I don't think you get the resolution, right?
Not quite as much.
Yeah.
But I did think it was a good concept, and I love that the Vivo phone that they put it on, like it's like a concept phone. Like no one can talk. Like, what's the name of this phone? They're like, oh, there's no
not decided
name.
yet.
There's
Yeah.
no name.
Yeah. But it
see.
is coming to market.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else that you are really into?
You know, I don't want to talk about the Razer thing because it's just like, I feel like it's been talked to death.
It probably so.
But it is really cool that
Well, how about the concept itself?
the concept itself is still never not going to work in large volume. Because if you build a dock like the Razer dock where you drop your Razer phone into this laptop dock and it becomes the
That
laptop.
super satisfying sound.
Oh yeah, because you push a button and it actually drills the USB-C port like into the phone and
That's why
locks
it
it
has
there.
to be so flat, so there's no margin of error.
But here's my thing, like that concept has been tried over and over again, and until Android is really good and you can make that stuff for really cheap, so that people don't want to just buy a $500 actual laptop, you know, it's never going to work. But the execution of this one is so smart.
Yeah.
The speakers on the Razer phone were so loud already. Several reviews, maybe me included, said this is louder than some laptops.
Yeah.
So there are no laptops on
I
the
tell
dock.
people to leave their small Bluetooth speakers
I mean
behind.
speakers. Yeah.
Oh, you meant speakers.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
Small
that's
Bluetooth speakers behind. You don't need the little pill anymore. You can
No.
just bring that phone.
Blast it.
Yeah.
And so you know the dock doesn't have speakers. You drop it in there. It doesn't have a fingerprint scanner because that sticks out the side of the laptop thing because it's already on the phone. It's just such a well-engineered, cool thing.
An old friend of mine on the interwebs, Julian, is asking, do you think Razer is shooting itself in the foot if the next Razer phone doesn't have the exact same size as the first one?
Right. And I think that's only a concern if this thing actually comes to market.
Yes.
And what we know about Razer is that like CES is where they come to play. And they're like, we need something that's going to get a big crowd around the booth.
I just hope they don't have the same story that they had last year. Do you remember?
With Valerie?
Yeah, that was the one. Where the triple display laptop got actually stolen. Just
Yeah.
lifted, all of them, from the booth.
Yep.
Which is why probably we haven't actually seen it on market, unfortunately.
No.
But
That
yeah,
and, you know, it was utterly impractical and huge.
it was.
But I did love checking it out. Like, then that's what I think. I think sometimes you and I will cover like what we perceive to be a boring trade show. Like it'll be an off year and there's nothing really cool. So when companies come like this and they even if they never bring it to market, they're just like, we built this crazy thing. You want to see it?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But you know what? Playing around with that Razer Project Linda is what it's called.
Yes.
Playing around with Project Linda just made me want a Razer Blade, to be honest. Because
Oh, really?
I'm kind of in the market for a new laptop, and then when I was using that with the Chroma keyboard and the way it was just very well made, I was like, huh.
Man, that yeah.
Do I want to spend $1,400 or $2,900 on the laptop right now?
Yeah.
So there is a lot to consider there.
I am susceptible to that like multicolored key thing that is the Chroma system. It's so
Anybody out there
amazingly
who's in the
cool.
PC game right now is like, oh, it's been done to death though.
I know, but I've been on MacBooks for 8 years. And I'm
You used to edit on the Air, I remember.
I did.
Yeah,
And
I
I
remember that.
ran that thing into the ground. That thing had like black soot marks where the fan was.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk about that because I
yeah.
hate my new MacBook so hard.
Really?
Yep.
Well, we don't have
It's
to
the
talk
worst.
about that.
It's the worst
But
MacBook ever.
You did hear it here first.
Yep.
Anyway. All right, well, I mean, for myself, I do agree with those two. And we did take a look at this humongous Asus, that huge 65-inch Android TV.
Yeah.
And it doubles as a gaming monitor because it has 120 hertz
Yeah.
refresh rate on it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, quad HD. I mean, like 4K, sorry. It was 4K, but it's quad sync. I'm trying to remember what the actual term was.
I'm trying to remember these buzzwords.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the buzzwords, but it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to pull double time. You would be able to have it as your gaming PC, or gaming PC monitor. You would be able to have it as your PC monitor in general. You could use it as a regular TV, and it has NVIDIA Shield built in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I love the NVIDIA Shield.
I've never touched it or seen it
Really?
in the real life.
If you ever get into putting Android TV, like, okay, let's put it this way. If you can spare the money from a Chromecast to an NVIDIA Shield, get the Shield. The Shield already has Chromecast on there, and it's already beautiful. So, but I want to see if there are any other questions, but I also wanted to ask you a couple of things about your setup. I have a couple of things here because your Instagram actually kind of shifted a little while back.
Yeah, somewhat recently.
And you're also kind of impeccable on social. We've talked about this before. Like your Snapchat game is always so fun. Though you're not really on Snapchat anymore.
Don't say that. You know,
Why?
because you say, and then tonight I'm going to do something stupid. I'm going to tweet to the wrong account, and then I'm just
I just
massive
remember
scandal.
I'm not really on Snapchat as much as I used to be, but I remember when I would see him on Snapchat. There's always fun stuff. It's actually humorous.
Thanks.
And now IG Stories is kind of where you kind of have that content laying.
Yeah.
But his Instagram is now sort of like, I don't want to say it's a news channel, but it's
Yeah, but it's a sub-news channel, right? It
Yeah.
kind of is. It's like, well, it's just a fun tech stuff channel, right?
And I've been watching your IG Stories, so that's why I wanted to ask what your opinion might be on a tool like this.
Oh, yeah.
So we have here the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. And I know you love the Osmo Mobile for even some of your actual content on your channel.
Loved, yeah.
So I wanted, have you played with this yet?
I have not played with this yet. Thank you.
Yes.
I can instantly feel why it's cheaper.
It was also lighter.
It was made lighter, and I do really appreciate that. The plastic, though, like the first gen has this rubber grip that reminds you that you're using a piece of camera equipment,
Yes, exactly.
and this feels more like a thing I buy at a store that's a toy. Yeah, but you do have the battery indicator on the stock now. I see.
Yes.
Is the app any better, or is it?
Well, right
just
now
the
I'm
worst?
using a beta version of the app because it's not released yet for the Osmo 2 Mobile.
Right.
Osmo Mobile 2, rather.
Okay.
So it is a beta app. The active tracking goes a little nuts, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like if I had it tracking you right now and then you walked away, it would follow you, but then it would have like separation anxiety and start shaking.
Right.
So.
See, I mean, I like this a lot. I like that the price point is down. I think that's much more reasonable.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing for me is that's the DJI story. Like amazingly great hardware, software.
I enjoy this, and someone asked me just even like 20 minutes ago, well, right before we streamed, that would this be your vlogging rig? I'm like, nah, this is more like my IG stories rig,
Sure.
social and all that, because after all, this is my vlogging rig.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yes, it's a lot more cumbersome, but this is great for social. That's what
It is.
That's what I think, yeah.
But here's the thing, man. With the phone you have in that is a Pixel, and the Pixel's video stabilization is so good.
On the rear,
Sure.
Front.
For the vlog.
that's
yeah,
why you
yeah,
notice
yeah,
also
yeah.
it's in portrait mode right now, which
Yeah.
the original Osmo was not able to do.
Is that true?
Well, you were able to go like this.
Yeah, you could
and-
like switch it.
Yeah, but
I mean,
this is, you know.
you go like gangster style social.
But
yeah.
you can have it this way, and it's a lot more. It's more convenient.
It is.
honestly.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And they do it in a hardware way. It's not part of the app or anything. You just unscrew this, and then you can rotate.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So.
One fewer point of failure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also a spring, so you could just. It's a clamp.
USB-C charging that?
No.
No? It's micro again?
It's micro again.
Yeah. Can we
I-
stop? Can we stop with the micro USB stuff?
It's
in
going to
20
get to
in
a point,
2018?
especially later in 2018, where if you
Jeez.
don't have USB-C, it immediately makes us think a little less of it.
No, it's not going to get to that point. It got to that point, and now we're past it. It's January what?
January
12? I don't know. I have a minimalist watch face. It's not telling
11.
me. 11.
Yes.
It's been 11 days since I'm over micro USB. I mean, I'm sorry. And I ask every manufacturer, and they're always like, yeah, well, component costs and stuff. And I'm like, cool, if you're making something super cheap, I get it, but let's stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do have about a half-hour slot, but we also have a buffer for like 45 minutes. So if you want to stay on for a little bit longer,
Let's hang, yeah.
I would love to do that. I'll tell Teo later.
I was warning you, I was not indicating you should answer questions. I was warning you about your battery on your Pixel.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I feel like I have a charger here somewhere. I have like a power delivery power bank here.
Yes, so do I. But I didn't bring it today because I didn't bring a bag, and because I didn't want the gimbal, because I didn't want anything, and because of this. Like I don't want to go back to the Pixel 2 XL, but video stabilization, if other manufacturers could pay a lot of attention to it and maybe approach the quality of this, that would be amazing.
Let's see. When is the Osmo 2 Mobile coming out? We are talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't have an actual date yet. I want to say like Q2 is what they were saying, but I do have a price. It's $149, and
Yep.
$149. That's an incredible price,
Way
especially
better.
for all of us who bought the original one. I'm a little bit peeved
Ooh,
right now.
Yeah, I know.
Just sell the old one for $100.
Yep.
I feel like that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, good call.
So 2018, CES 2018, the start of the year, we obviously have Mobile World Congress coming up, which is when we're going to finally hear what the actual specs on the Alcatel phones are. Sorry.
Yes.
Because they were like, oh, you can take a look at the phones and film them all you want, but we can't tell you anything.
Yeah, it was that little tease, you know,
Yeah.
like they did that for the Blackberry Key 1 too. So I was sitting on that for forever.
I'm not going to share the piece of information, but I remember looking at the phone and I was like, how many megapixels is the camera? And they were just like, can't tell you. So I was like, okay, settings.
Yep. But you got to watch out though, because some OEMs throw a fake setting screen in there. If you haven't heard this, it's hilarious. It's like,
I remember, did you have like phones last year that still said they were on KitKat?
yeah. You'll look it up and it's like Android version 4.2, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right at all.
Exactly. Well, CES is obviously the beginning of the year. So I'm curious what you might be thinking. You have your ear to the ground for a lot of stuff. It's not just, I mean, mobile kind of, it's an umbrella term. So
Yeah,
while we are
right.
Android authority, we try to dive into some other stuff as well. You know, you
Yeah.
get to do that en masse.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be the trend of 2018?
Oh God, man. Well, I don't know. What was the trend of last year? Was it smart home? Was it connected home, or was
it
that
smart
26?
smart stuff?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And, you know, and everyone, like, there's all this really nebulous, buzzwordy stuff out there, like 5G and the connected
5G.
lifestyle and all this, you know, like, and it's all very exciting, but it is kind of impossible to make exciting for someone like me, who's like, because it's so early yet for so much of this stuff that I'm just like, okay, fine. When we have a product that's shipping and then I can actually experience it myself and comment on it, then that'll be great. I don't know, man. I mean, speculative stuff is just, it's
a little tough, right?
Yeah.
Because CES itself, one thing that I'm noticing about CES is that it's not quite the microcosm of the year that it used to be. There's almost too much going on here that you can't really pinpoint the one trend in, let's say, mobile or even Android that is happening.
And that's because, in part because like mobile is maturing, right? I mean, there is too much happening, but there's also a lot less happening, and like tablets, which we can now agree are like sort of
gone.
Lost to convertibles and phones. We did, this year there will be a little something happening in laptops, in that we will see whether the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 always connected PCs are going to succeed or fail in the marketplace.
I'm still confused about that, because they were talking about the Snapdragon 835 powered laptops that are going to have such long battery life, and I was like, so what did you do to the battery? Or, you know, isn't there there's no GPU in there, or like? No,
it's like, well, I mean, the 835 is already optimized for mobile, right?
Yes.
So it's like, its power consumption is really, really low. And then they've got all the space of a laptop now to spread heat dissipation through, which is great.
Oh, that's a good point.
And then they can just throw in a huge battery, and you know, and then it doesn't have to have a separate LTE module. So it all seems really promising. But here's the thing, we've only seen demos.
Exactly.
We don't have retail units out in the wild. And frankly, are you excited about the one that Lenovo announced, or any of them, or HP or Dell?
Not quite.
Or not Dell, sorry, Asus?
It doesn't really, no, not yet, because like the use case scenario is what I'm worried about. Because while a laptop that can go for 20 hours or whatever the number might be great, the Adreno that is with the Snapdragon 835 is not going to be able to handle Premiere. It's not going to be able to handle Final Cut. Well, the equivalents of Final Cut.
It'll run. I asked that specifically.
When
I interviewed, there was some stuff, like, there was one question in particular I wanted answered, and he answered it. I'm like, can you run Premiere? Can you run Lightroom on this thing? And he's like, absolutely you can. And I'm like, okay. It's not going to run very quickly.
Exactly.
But
hard stop.
Here's the thing. This is why we need to check it. This is why we need to be able to like have these units in the real world and use them. Because if it does work out for one or more of these devices, these could make me re-excited about laptops. You know what I mean? But not. Go ahead.
I was just looking at it, and I just smiled. He just knows we smiled. There's a reason why. It's because, speaking of speculation, and we're not going to talk about it because we don't know anything. We want to. I know and I believe yourself. We've had this discussion before. We don't really take leaks too seriously. You know, like it's hard to actually take it seriously, because speculation only means so much until the actual thing comes out.
Yeah.
That's why we have a few questions about the Galaxy S9.
Of course. You know what? Let's hit him, and then let's talk about why I don't like
It's really just going to be Any News on It by Robert Simola.
Right,
and
of course.
Also, MT What says, what do you think about MT rather says, what do you think about the Galaxy S9?
I think it's probably going to be a smartphone launched in 2018. Like,
I think it's going to probably come out around MWC.
yeah, you know, like it usually does.
There.
And I don't mean to be like, you know, like a jerk about it. It's just that I think leaks are really cool because they get everyone whipped up and fires up the imaginations, and it gets companies' names out there when they want to ramp up to, you know, advertising a new product. But for me, like, I'd rather be surprised.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd rather have the briefing beforehand, so I don't need to be surprised at the event and go like, you know, throw elbows in the demo area. You know,
exactly.
But like, I want to walk in and be like, what have you guys got? Have them open a box and show me something that I'm like, oh, wow. Rather than like walking in and being like, yeah, that comports with the leaks. Okay, cool.
I hate it whenever we do an article, because like I do the YouTube side, I do write some of the reviews, and I do write the reviews, but I do write some stuff for the website is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
And I hate it whenever I read anywhere, not just ours, but you know, any of the other publications. Well, it has this, which the leaks did confirm.
Yes.
I'm like, no, the leaks didn't confirm anything.
Yeah,
like,
right.
The leak is not a confirmation.
Yeah.
But speaking of stuff we might be excited for this year, first I want to say, did you meet with Blackberry?
Here?
Or did you have time with the Blackberries?
Yeah, very briefly. Yeah.
Okay. Their new colorway for the Key 1.
Yeah, the bronze edition.
I still want a black edition.
So you and I are like the BlackBerry Key 1 fanboys of the universe, right? Despite the fact that neither of us is carrying one at this show.
I was actually going to say earlier.
What's your excuse?
Well, I don't carry two phones. I would carry a Pixel 2 and a Blackberry if I could.
Got to two-phone it up, bro.
I want to.
It's a great time.
Well, okay, being a little bit meta, I do have two SIM cards. It's just one of them is being used by my girlfriend right now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, who
Well,
didn't have a SIM card coming here.
efficiency.
She's from out of this.
Got two back pockets, you get two phones, man.
Well, okay, I was actually going to ask where your holsters are.
Nah. So I used to wear this product called the LD West Original Holster.
Indeed.
And I loved it, especially for shows like this.
Yes.
But it had the effect of making you kind of look like a detective, which was great, until I came into a restaurant at one point and was informed that several months ago when I was in wearing my holster, the entire staff thought I was packing heat.
Oh, no.
Which in my state of Massachusetts is alarming to a degree.
Well, is it Nevada an open carry?
Probably.
Or concealed carry, rather?
With the amount of ads I've seen around town for shoot a real machine gun.
It's true.
Yeah, I
It's
imagine it might be.
So what is your solution for that then? Because I was trying to find one. I have a tiny messenger that I'm still on the fence about because I feel like I feel like it doesn't quite go with my look.
Well, funny you should ask, Josh. This broadcast is brought to you by Scotty Vest. No, JK, LOL.
Which I still need to try.
Yeah, they're actually really cool. I
Okay.
like their stuff. No. I've just gone to back pocket model. I hate to give you a boring answer, but back pockets are inside suit jacket pockets. It's not. The holster gets you remembered, but it was time to move on to something else.
I had a phase for a while there. I think it was 2 years ago when I was in like my gym rat mode. I used to
Yeah.
be a gym.
Yeah.
rat. I would use gym bags, those drawstring bags,
Oh, that's right. You did.
and I'd walk around looking like I just came from the gym.
You had that whole look down. Like you'd have the sweatpants.
Exactly.
Like the hair was tied up.
Everything
a little
was
bit.
athleisure, which is a term I hate.
Whoa! I have not
despise
heard
that
that
word.
portmanteau
Yeah,
before.
it should be called fitness casual because athleisure is a term that implies that you go to the gym and wear those same clothes everywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
No.
There are clothes that are made by fitness companies that you can wear in places. Like I've worn Under Armour before and it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Sorry, mini rant. But
Oh, hey.
Yes.
No, maybe that. I think that would be cool if that were a bit of the theme in 2018. Because at the end of 2017, we saw finally Project Jacquard by
This is true.
Google, and I got to like.
oh, did you get the
I
jacket?
got the Project Jacquard jacket from a local retailer. 'Cause Google didn't send me one, but I bought it
The
anyway.
thing is, I'm told denim jackets don't look good on me.
Denim jackets, you would be surprised.
Really?
I wore it and I put it on. I'm like, this ain't gonna be me, and I was like, whoa, this feels great because it was like slimming.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do enough for me.
Okay.
Right? It's just got the one interface area where it's like smart woven fibers in the sleeve, and you can skip tracks in your headphones and all this stuff. But maybe we'll see more shoes with the embedded step counter stuff, the
yeah.
personal area network stuff, the fitness stuff. Oh, I saw a ring at Showstoppers or whatever, one of the little mini shows that it reads your heart rate and counts steps.
I'm gonna be so triggered right now if it's who I'm thinking.
Who?
Or Aura,
No, it is not.
Motive.
Maybe.
Okay, because Aura I wanted to see. Aura is sort of like the pioneer. I don't want to go so far as say pioneer, but they were one of the first really popular ring trackers.
Really?
The problem
Did they
with
ever
the-
ship?
Yeah, yeah.
And
a
was
bunch.
it fat or was it like
was
a ring?
fat.
That, I know what you're talking about. I remember
It
that.
was fat.
Oh,
And their new one is much more streamlined.
All right, so this isn't them. This
Okay.
is a separate company, and their first product is so light, it's titanium, and it's so lightweight, I thought it was fake. But then he turned on the little tiny LEDs on the thing, and I was like, what?
What? There's LEDs on it?
Yeah.
Wait.
And so you track it with it tracks your sleep, it tracks your steps, it tracks your, I don't know if it has a heart rate sensor, I may have misspoken there. It has one more sensor I don't know about. And the app is so streamlined and lightweight and cool, and I'm like, this is something I could get into.
Yeah. So you don't really wear trackers in general though, huh?
No, just a smartwatch, but this one nice thing about CES is you hit your 10,000 step goal in
Just like
at
that.
11 a.m.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I would love one of those rings. I think that would be a perfect way of doing it without it being intrusive.
Yeah, if you don't want to wear a watch.
I wear enough stuff already.
Look at that watch.
Oh yeah, the Skagen, the
Woo.
Yorn. I remember seeing hybrid smartwatches are my favorite category right now.
Got no use for them.
We were just talking about how Android Wear needs a makeover.
It does.
I just stripped it out all completely.
Yeah, you just gave up.
Yeah, I gave
Yeah,
up.
okay.
I don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
I
that's
want.
fine.
I have a few buttons that allow me to control my phone when I wish.
Yeah.
But I don't need notification shit because the amount of time I would have looked at my watch is time I.
No, you don't. It's not about that. It's about, oh, it's an Instagram comment. Who cares?
Well,
or oh, it's that email I was waiting for. Okay, grab the phone.
Okay, now that's where I want to go with this. I want there to be a semi-hybrid smartwatch that has maybe a small, really cheap looking panel on there.
Okay.
That all it does is it mirrors your notification tray.
Get a Martian.
Oh yeah, did the Martian do that?
Yeah.
Because all I want is these icons at the top, and I have too many, I know.
Oh, but I like what I know what you're saying. You don't even want words.
No.
You want it to be like an email envelope,
Yes.
or a Twitter bird, or a, yeah.
I just want that display on the watch, maybe in the bottom rim, or even just in the middle.
Yeah, but there are a lot that do that already. Like,
Are there? I
yeah,
haven't found any.
Yeah, there are. They don't even have LCDs. They have like literally silk screened email envelope, phone thing, text
But
thing.
they're
and then there's
so-
like an LED behind it.
Yeah, but I guess licensing the
cheap.
icon is something, or whatever it might be.
Maybe.
I don't know if it has to be that way, but
Yeah.
get on it. I really want to see something like that.
Come on, innovators.
To be honest, that's all I really want to see.
You realize that in the fringes of this very room, there's probably 80 of those watches. We should just go look for them later.
I agree. I mean, you've had a lot of time to run around. I feel like I haven't. Like,
Yeah, I have, and it's. I think when you come to a show like this, it can be really easy to, after doing this for a couple of years, to be like, I don't need to say this crap. I saw all the important stuff in the
Yeah.
meetings. But just do yourself a favor if you covered these things and just walk around them and absorb this stuff. There is a lot of stuff that's not going to apply to you, but it's so fun just to see how much stuff is being built,
Yeah.
and how much of it is kind of cool. Wow.
I think MT is having some fun with us right now because he's like, speculation. What do you think of Grand Theft Auto 6?
It better be set
one.
in Boston. That's
Yeah,
what I
right.
think.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Okay, one last question, only because I want to see if you've seen it, because I haven't. Samsung's micro LED displays.
No, I heard about the technology, but you know, I mean, what's the smallest one?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, like I mean, the bigger a display gets, the further I walk away from it. I just don't like. I like TVs. The only TV that excites. So whatever. Sorry, I'm rambling. No, I haven't seen it. What's it like?
I actually haven't seen it either. I just know that the micro LED is supposed to be made for. Okay, this is what I heard one of my colleagues say, that there's modularity involved, because in order to have this is what I'm thinking. You know, you have a micro LED display and you're able to pack them on and have more, and they all become one huge display. Or you can even have other things displaying, like one that is just for, let's say, smart assistants or for other things.
Okay.
So it could be a concept that makes it into other devices. I think that's the reason why they were kind of excited about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the only thing. I was just wondering, because we got a question from it here, from Umar Kadir. So that was the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not much of a TV guy.
Yeah.
Unless it runs WebOS.
I'm going to go ahead and ask, I need a gimbal for my smartphone badly, so please, what's looking good out there? I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier already. I'm not saying this is the only one out there, but it is a great one. So
You know what's crazy about this though is that like this is sort of the effect that DJI has. It's a big enough mover and can ship stuff like this that's presumably of pretty fine quality. I don't know, this is brand new, so it might be garbage, but it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah.
And they can move it at a really reasonable price. So I'm guilty of this. I'm like, I need something that meets my needs, and I don't need to review this category. Let me just buy that and see how well it works.
Yeah, exactly.
And in my experience with the first one, that's all I'll speak to. My experience with the first one is that I loved it initially. Over time, it didn't really age well. I beat it up. It forgot what zero horizon is, so now it's at like a permanent 3-degree tilt. You know, it's good, but considering the app, I've never liked. It's priced right now.
Yeah.
It wasn't priced right at 300.
Oh yeah, and I did get one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to sell it.
Yeah.
But I think one last thing, I'm gonna leave it off with a compliment. One of our commenters says.
Aw.
Sean Heron says, Michael Fisher, I bought the Star Trek lapel communicator you reviewed for my uncle, and he loved it.
Yay! Oh, I'm glad. The comm badge, the
Yeah.
lapel communicator. Oh man, they recently remade that. I heard, because when I first reviewed it, it was bad, and I was so sad because I've wanted a comm badge since 1991.
This is one of those. I mean, we're really good friends. This is one of the places that we like separate, because I've never watched
Josh
Star
is a
Trek.
Deep Space Nine guy.
Oh no.
And JK.
I've never watched any of them. I've never watched any Star Trek, so I know I need to catch up. You've told me already that the current one is pretty good.
Discovery is really good.
Yeah.
This broadcast is brought to you by CBS All Access. $6 a month gets you unlimited
I wonder
Star
if anyone
Trek
would
Discovery.
even get the reference. CBS cares. All right. Well, on that note, I do want to make sure we're not taking too much of your time. But
Yeah,
we
I've
did go
got
for a
so
solid
much stuff to do.
45. So the live stream went for the entire time. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yay!
But Michael, thank you so much for coming on. Or not having me on. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome, Josh.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, folks. No, really, thanks.
I want to give
awesome.
you I want to give you some spots. Maybe if you want to plug
Sure.
anything. Yeah.
If anybody wants to come see the videos that I kick out on YouTube, it is at the MrMobile, TheMrMobile. That is my handle everywhere. Twitter, especially Instagram,
Yes.
where my producer, who I inaccurately called Jules on my last podcast.
I'm sure Jules was happy though.
Yeah, my modern producer, the guy who's doing all that great Instagram stuff, is Justice. So
Yes.
it's a pretty dope name too. But anyway, check me out. Thanks.
Yeah, and he's
Thank you
doing
for
great
having me
things on the YouTube channel. Obviously, we're live on YouTube, so I'm sure most of you know how to get to his channel or already subscribed.
Oh, that's where this was going.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's going on YouTube.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
familiar with that.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned to Android Authority for all of the best coverage of CES 2018. We already brought you our best of CES, and we already gave out, well, actually today we're giving out the awards to all of those people, all those products and the people who represent them, of course. So yeah, watch that video so you can see what we loved at this show, and then stay tuned for even more because we are your source for all things Android.